lounging, son.
Welcome back to the Comic Lounge. My name's Ryan,
And I'm Manny.
and today we're going to be talking about a classic 80s DC book. We're talking Cosmic Odyssey by Jim Starlin, Mike Mignola, Carlos Garzon, and Steve Olive. So I'm very excited to finally get this on the channel. I mean, first off, these covers. I love Mignola. I've talked about him a lot on the channel, and getting to read this stuff before he went full blown Hellboy was an absolute
Yeah.
delight. Before we get into it, though, I just want to remind everybody, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. Check out some of the dope content on the channel, including some more work by Mike Mignola. And there's, a bunch of playlists you can check out, interviews, overviews like this, indie creator spotlight. So hit that subscribe button. And now let's check out Cosmic Odyssey. You're reading from the trade, but I had to get the singles. I just, for some reason, I like reading it in that format. I also found a pretty decent deal. I got lucky when I found this, but I always like seeing the covers like this. And it's interesting when I look at the price point and how much this book would cost now. I mean, this is $350. This is 1988. They'd probably charge us like fucking $8 or $9 for this book.
Yeah. I mean, today this would probably be like a black label price book, at least $6.99. But you're probably more correct with what you just said.
Yeah. I mean, if they can charge more, they will. I love this. Like from the get-go, you look at this cover, you see the eclectic group of characters. Got Light Ray from the New Gods, Martian Manhunter, Starfire, Orion from the New Gods, Batman, Bug the Forager from the New Gods, Green Lantern, John Stewart, Superman, and then at the top, Darkseid and Highfather. So this is
Yeah.
obviously it's called Cosmic Odyssey. It's heavily tied into Kirby's New Gods characters. And I love the New Gods characters, so I was like super stoked to read this.
Yeah, me too.
Open up, you're in Gotham City, fucking all these parademons coming through a boom tube. The one thing I want to call out too is like it is interesting seeing Mignola inked by somebody else. It definitely gives his art a different style. Like I wonder what it would have looked like with him inking this. Like
Yeah.
that's constantly what I was thinking about the entire time. Not to say that it inked
Uh,
poorly, but I mean I think that he's at his best when he's doing those heavy blacks in the inks.
Yeah. And this is colored by Steve Olive. So
Yeah.
I think this is probably, was he doing digital coloring already at this point?
I believe, I mean, I know he was like one of the first to do digital coloring.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure the
Yeah. I'd
process
have
of
to look that
this.
up.
I feel like it may not have been there at this point. I'm thinking like closer to like the early 90s was when he did it, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, I'd have to look it up. I love this. We get Superman coming in with light ray. I love the fact that they keep Superman in the shadows here.
I do too. I noticed that right when I was reading it. And I love that, man. It's something you don't really see often, and
Yeah. But
I
yeah,
like the lettering too. John Workman's lettering is really good in
oh
this.
yeah, dude. I really love like Jim Starlin. Like I've read more of his Marvel stuff than his DC
Same.
stuff. Like I mean, obviously he wrote, the famous storyline where Jason Todd gets murdered. He did write
Yeah.
that. Other than that, I don't think I've really read any DC stuff by him. It's all been Marvel, so it was interesting to read his takes on these characters and the voices that they had, under his writing. Light Ray's fucking a very cocky douchebag, in my opinion,
Yeah.
throughout this. I definitely like his Superman. I think that he writes with a certain gravitas, the way he writes
Yes.
his characters, and it kind of like it lends itself really well to the whole fourth world cast of characters. Because I've always felt that about Kirby's fourth world stuff. Like it has this like
Yeah, it's operatic,
yeah,
It's like, yeah.
that's the
And
word. That's a good word.
Starling is also like, I mean, I was introduced to Starling through his like work on the cosmic side of Marvel, like
Right.
when he was writing like Silver Surfer, and when the Penny Gauntlet storyline was like pumping. I was on the ground floor for that, buying that shit off the racks. So I always associate Starling with cosmic stuff. So I mean, this is literally like you said called Cosmic Odyssey. So to
Yeah.
me, it would make sense why he would be attracted to this side of the DC character
Yeah. I
because
wonder.
DC always had a much more prominent role for its cosmic characters, and I think that Marvel probably took a cue from that when they started expanding their cosmic kind of like line in the 80s.
Yeah. I think it's interesting too, like like I said, the cast of characters, like, did he pick them? Was editorial like, okay, this is who you can use? So that's kind of what I'm curious about. I don't know if I'm sure it probably exists somewhere in some interview, but I would love to pick his brain on that. But I love
Yeah,
this too, this comment that Superman makes where he's like, we're in Batman's jurisdiction, and he's like, oh, he's just a normal human. And then Superman, who told you Batman was a normal human? I love that line, dude. You got like this one parademon that just got stuck behind, just like like kind of muttering to himself, please, Darkseid, have mercy on me. And then we jump to this like random planet. We see this boom tube open. We see Metron come out, and he's looking fucked up, dude. And
yeah, the
those four panels right there just like signify. And then I love this. And the fourth one, you see boom again. So that's to signify another boom tube's opened up. And who is it? Darkseid. And then
yeah, standing with his arms behind his back. Yeah,
Mobius chair's like all jacked up too. And I think this is some of my favorite Darkseid writing too. I think he really captures like the character here. He's how he mentions Apocalypse, it's his prized empire, and his hunger knows no bounds because he's constantly looking for the anti-life equation, which is kind of the impetus behind this entire story. You're gonna find out that Metron basically discovered what it is. I love this little Batman Commissioner Gordon. So it's while every other character is very cosmic in their, I don't want to say their origin, but they have ties to the cosmic side of DC. Batman's the only one that kind of is like an outlier, but I love
yeah,
that he's still included. And so this is like one of my favorite parts of the issue when he jumps down to the sewer, and it just makes me like, man, I wish we would have got more like Batman from Mignola.
yeah, man. I mean, it's a character that he would be suited for, like
Yeah.
especially later era with like all like you said earlier, like all the heavy blacks and shadows. I mean,
Mhm.
of course, we all know he did Gotham by Gaslight, which is another that's something we should also do, man, if we have a chance.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I like this
Uh,
under when he's in the sewer. It kind of reminded me of like the Turtles, Ninja Turtles. Like
yeah,
I got those
yeah,
vibes. I think he'd do a cool Ninja Turtles too. But this
fuck yeah, he
horrific
would. Good call. Yeah,
this horrific scene of him like walking in, and it calls it a meat locker, and you just see all this like half-eaten human, all of them like strung up. And then this right here, these panels of it's so cinematic the way it's laid out too, because like
yes,
you see
dude.
him look, and
Yes,
then there at the foot, Batman's face, a gun drawn, him coming through, the drool coming again, just like slowly building up to this.
it's a beautiful page, man. Beautifully composed. Like so. I mean, and it's also a classic Mignola page too, like with like the like the there's a little bit of like Kirby influence that he always has, but there is a darkness here too.
And I love this. He even like as he says like he should probably like go away. He doesn't. And he fucking Batman goes toe to toe with this guy. And
Yeah.
he's like he mentions I normally don't like using weapons, especially firearms, but I'm flexible, able to adapt to the situation. He pulls it out and he blasts a hole through him, and he has no idea that it was gonna do that. And then he just like, okay, I gotta go. I had off to call Gordon in for cleanup. Then we come to the White House. We see this other new god who he's like briefly in it, but we don't
Yeah.
ever, like it doesn't really hold like a major part. And this is where we see the crew all recruited. And then we get Superman narrating. And I love this because he's saying like every single person that's here. And he's like, and this old man with that unusual name of Mr. Blood. So at this point, anybody that doesn't know who Blood is, it's Jason Blood, aka the human host of or Etrigan the Demon.
Yeah.
So it's funny that Superman doesn't have any knowledge of him. I'm about to flip the page to probably one of my favorite double page spreads of
I know
this
exactly
Batman.
which page you're talking about. Yeah. Dude,
This,
it's amazing.
when I saw this page, because again, this is the first time I've ever read it. Obviously this book
Yeah.
is,
Same.
what is it? 36 years old, but
Yeah.
for whatever reason, I just hadn't read it. And all I could think of when I looked at this double page spread is I need a Mike Mignola Fourth World Black Label book. I think he would be so perfectly suited to do a
Yes.
book like that. I think Mark Miller has said it. Like, we just need some big name creators to come and do like one project. Can you imagine if Mignola came back and did one project at DC, or some of these creators that have long since left. That would break the internet, dude.
Of course, man, and like, and like he's that's a really true statement that I agree with. I mean, like you have all these projects that like I mean, Marvel is doing, like, let's say, like Avengers Twilight. This kind of like in the same vein. You know what I'm talking about? Like, out of continuity, give it to some big name creators. Like, that's gonna bring asses to the seats, bro.
Yeah. You have to. You have to like do
Yeah,
just spend the money. It'll bring the money in and it will keep fans checking out other stuff. Like when Hickman took over X-Men, same thing. But anyways, that's a
yeah,
conversation for another day. But like Mignola doing this stuff is just amazing to me. And I love this when Darkseid again, arms crossed, Superman. This is so great. He sees him, flies at him, boom, knocks him
yeah.
across the
The
panel.
Superman flying, because you never see Superman being whacked like that, man. And
Yeah.
it really just sort of like shows you how powerful Darkseid is.
And then
And you're
him,
right about his portrayal, like the way Starling writes Darkseid. I mean, the only other person I can think of that I love writing Darkseid as much was when Grant Morrison wrote him in the Rock of
yeah.
Ages
Oh,
JLA
it's
arc.
such a good storyline. Yeah.
Yeah,
I love this as he gets up and then Orion has to hold him back and then realizing that, wait, Darkseid's on our side. They're going to team up. We get the whole lowdown from Highfather about what the anti-life equation really is, how it was discovered. It was tried to be
yeah,
weaponized. I'm giving like the Cliff Notes version of what happens in these pages, but it's
yeah,
interesting because it's like it's a living thing, is what they realize. It's not just some like scientific equation, right? Like, I mean, like it sounds what it did, and it comes in and destroys this sun, and it's just making its way across the universe. And they were able to learn that through basically reading Metron's mind, right?
yeah,
And now what's really brilliant is we see why these characters, or some of them, were recruited, right? Why was Martian Manhunter brought? Because they want him to read his mind. And
yeah,
I think it's cool that each character has their own reasons for being a
yeah.
part of this team.
It's a well composed story that way, where, like, again, you were talking earlier, like, was editorial demanding certain characters, but it seems like each character here was chosen for a specific role to play in the story, and everything integrates so well that it is a motley crew of characters, but when the story gets going and you realize like what they have to do, it makes sense why they have these specific players in the game.
Yeah. I love these pages with like Metron as he's like traversing the space, and then we see like the anti-life force not merely an intellectual or philosophical concept. It's not a resource to be exploited and used in any fashion. It's a sentient being. It's alive. And then this is just like total all these creepy
Oh, dude,
fucking
yeah, this is like Lovecraftian. Like, this is where the story kind of takes a weird Lovecraftian turn, where you have like this like being that's barely like it's like a conscious being, but it's also like abstract, and like it gets really cosmic here. And dude, I love this kind of shit, man.
Oh,
Like,
it's so much fun, dude. I absolutely love
yeah,
this. And then when we get the map of like these four planets and how they're tied together, and
yeah.
basically, Darkseid's laying it out. If two of the four get destroyed, the entire Milky Way galaxy will be fucking destroyed.
Right, yeah, yeah.
It'll
It's
have,
like pulling the pins from a specific like building or
yeah.
something, and it all falls apart. Like, these are like the load bearing walls of the Milky Way
Yeah.
galaxy.
And it's
Yeah,
cool because like obviously we know Earth, but then it's like three other well-known planets within the DC universe. You got Rand,
yeah,
where Adam Strange, is always transported to. It's where he has his family. We got Thanagar, the home of like,
yeah,
Hawkman and stuff like that. And then Xanshi, which is maybe more of a deep cut, but like to me, I knew what it was because like that's when John Stewart destroyed the planet, and it fucking is something that has haunted him ever since. And I did
yeah.
not realize, and we're gonna see it in issue 2, that something happens, with him and that planet. And I was like, oh shit, I had no idea it was in here. So now we're gonna get the breaking up of the teams. Everybody's gonna go their separate ways. We're gonna have
Yeah.
Superman with Orion, Starfire with it's Light Ray. Yeah, with
Light
Light
ray,
Ray,
yeah.
Martian and John Stewart, and then Batman and Forger. So they're gonna go to each of these planets and try.
Great pairings too, like they play off each other well, because like Orion's a fucking asshole, you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah,
like perfectly to put him with Superman, like you got Starfire and Light Ray, like like she's kind of like humble, and he's a another braggart, like you have John Stewart and Martian Manhunter, like that's good. And then Forger and Batman is just fucking great, because
yeah,
Forger's kind of like he's he's sort of like funny, you know, and Batman is like, you know,
The
humorless a
opposite.
lot of times.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Well, it's funny too, because like they get to Gotham City and Batman makes a call, and we won't find out who this friend is until issue 4, which is
yeah,
kind of spoiled on the cover of issue 4, which I saw,
yeah,
but and then we get the final panel, like, okay, well, where's Mr. Blood, like that they were talking about, and now we see, and he's like, we're introducing you to your old partner. It's Etrigan, fucking in this tube trapped, and they all he say is, I'm sorry, my son, and he screams no because he's finally been freed. I don't know that storyline, so it was kind of cool to see, like, oh,
yeah,
he that's why he got old, because he didn't have Etrigan inside anymore. um
yeah. Because
and
Jason Blood is like from like King Arthur's time
yeah,
originally. He's like old. Yeah,
yeah. And now, they're looking for the anti-life aspects in each of these planets to, before those planets get destroyed. We get the great scene of Orion and Superman fighting against these Thanagarians in the air.
yeah, dude. And fucking Orion is just wailing on them, bro. He's not
Oh,
even
dude.
holding back.
Oh, yeah, it's awesome, man. And then John are on,
Yeah, no, didn't think about that. Yeah,
yeah, they're on Xanshi. We see like some plague has affected everybody. At this point, John Stewart was a very cocky individual, very
yeah,
cocky. I would say, just as much as Hal Jordan, if not a little bit more. And he always
yeah,
had a chip on his shoulder. So he creates this like antidote for them with the ring, basically to help inoculate them. And now he wires into the planet to figure out where this aspect is, and they go off to find it. And we keep getting these like little brief moments, right? Like, because we do have to follow 4 different teams. It's a 4-issue miniseries. We got to keep the pace up, but I really like
yeah.
the way it's
Yep.
paced. It's
Yeah,
not,
I
doesn't
was
feel
about to
rushed.
talk. Yeah, we're in sync here because I was about to say like the way that the story is structured with like the bouncing from you know segment to segment keeps it flowing so well, man. And like this could easily have become a very convoluted story because there's so many characters and so much going on and so much mythology that's being thrown at you. But it moves at a really like good clip, man. You know?
And then this scene with Voyager Batman in the cave, and he's just like, "You got to change your fucking costume, dude, because I'm, like I work at night, and that costume has to go." It's just such a simple like thing in here, but it makes so much sense because he is a creature of the shadows, right? And this dude's in a
Yeah,
bright white and red costume. So now Batman's kind of already figured out what to do because he's fucking Batman. He knows everything. Then we immediately jump back to Light Ray and Starfire, and he's always hitting on her, which is kind of annoying, a kind of annoying
yeah.
aspect of him. But and because I don't remember Light Ray being like that, but it's fine. You
I
gotta have a
really
you
love
gotta
it.
you gotta have a douchebag in every team. So
I love it when Mignola draws like when he draws like really tiny figures. There's something about that that I really love.
yeah,
Like the scale when he draws like you know like the
like
smaller
here,
panels and like
yeah,
yeah, there's just something about that that I find really visually appealing. You know, like it's very delicate line work and like you could tell it's minimal line work, but he's able to form like such a fully realized figure with movement and
hmm
dynamicism. It's a trait that I love seeing in his artwork that I didn't really realize until I reread this book where I was like, man, he does that a lot in this book, and it's one of the things I love best.
And I love that on Rand, like every planet, there's something else that's happening to the people. Like here, they're all going nuts. They're fucking trying to kill each other. It's not there's no rhyme or
Yeah,
reason. This guy jumps, Light Ray tries to save him, and he's like, "Get your hands off me!" And he fucking like punches him so that he can die. And you just hear that, at the bottom. Of course, we're on Rand. Who are we gonna see? Adam Strange. So Adam Strange is now in the mix, and I love this like view of New Genesis that we get from space. There's a McDonald's. Did you notice that?
no, but now I think that's fucking
Yeah.
great.
Fucking McDonald's M right there, dude.
That's
Fucking
amazing, dude.
yeah.
Even on your Genesis or the McDonald's, that's great. That's gotta be a joke
Yeah.
that
Oh, he definitely had to add that in. And then we get like
yeah,
this amazing scene with the three, these three pivotal characters, I guess 4 if you include Etrigan, but Darkseid and Highfather pleading to Blood, like, you have to fucking join with him again because we need you. And he's like, the heroes can do it. And they're like, no, but we need you. There's something about you that we need. And I'm going to, like, Darkseid's going to tap his power into this power Zard through Etrigan. So you have to be whole to do that. And,
I
begrudgingly he says, "Fine, you know, I'll do it."
I love that Darkseid that you mentioned earlier. Literally, is either arms crossed or behind his back at all the times. It's such
Yeah.
a like he's such a fucking posturing dickhead. You
Oh
know
yeah,
what I
he's an
mean? Like,
arrogant motherfucker. Yeah.
yeah,
Get some great stuff again on Thanagar with Superman or Orion. And then
that bit
here,
that page is amazing, man.
oh
That big
yeah,
ass slap.
here we get like this is where fucking John Stewart just becomes an idiot. In my
Yeah, he fucks
opinion,
up big time.
he fucks up, dude. He's basically traps John and he's like, okay, I'm gonna go take care of this. You stay behind, and fucking hell breaks loose. I love the redesign. All they do on like a forger is just make it black instead of,
It's a cool costume.
yeah, it's pretty dope. And now we get Adam Strange, Light Ray, Starfire. They're going to stop the machine because each planet has this like specific machine that's ready to destroy, and it's because of
Yeah,
the influence they're having on, there's always one person on the planet that gets infected and basically puts the planet into motion. Ah, dude, this is the part where John Stewart does it. And even Martian Manhunter is like, no, you arrogant, conceited idiot. You're
yeah,
depending too much on that blasted power ring. And then he goes, dude, and this is fucking heart wrenching, dude, because he comes
yeah,
into the fucking area and he realizes, oh shit, it's all yellow.
yeah.
And
Like the one thing that he should have thought of first.
yeah,
You know, the one thing that could stop him, he didn't. You know.
yep. And he's just like, how did it know? And a question whose answer he's never destined to learn. And the bomb goes off because he has no power over it.
Yeah.
And it is now going to destroy this planet. And it's something that haunts him for fuck, dude. Like even into like the Jeff Johns era of Green Lantern, like it's still
Yeah, it
something
becomes
that,
a defining trait of the character, man.
yeah. And it's just fuck, dude. These pages of like the people watching as their planet's about to be destroyed, the bones disintegrating, the fire that overtakes this entire planet, and you just
Yeah.
see it continue to burn and finally blow up. And Green Lantern over here, he's fucking distraught. Martian Manhunter comes, he got no sympathy, dude. He
No,
just tells,
bro.
he's like, just
Yeah.
shut up. I will never
And you know
forgive
it's
you.
serious because John Jones is someone that usually has a big heart and has nothing but sympathy and
Yeah,
empathy. I mean,
yeah.
he's a fucking mind reader. He's gonna have empathy because he can read your thoughts. But he has no. He's like you fucked up, John Stewart.
On these pages too, where Etrigan comes back, High Father lets him go out into the gardens to, have a little brief moment of peace
Yeah,
before
dude.
he's about to be trapped forever again. And I love this embrace, and you just see like the fucking kind of almost like a Kirby crackle, but not quite
Yeah, I
there.
was. Yeah.
And then, we get Etrigan coming back. Such a
What a
powerful
great
page.
page again, too,
And
man.
look at the
Like
contrast of High Father like sulking because he's he feels bad, and then Darkseid just with that shit eating grin, dude, off on the.
yeah, dude.
Now we're in chapter 3. We're halfway through. Come back to Rand. We see Adam Strange is laid out, and Light Ray is trying to dismantle this machine, and then we get this. This is fucking like an aspect of the anti-life equation as well. It's just so fast paced, dude. Like you get like 3 pages
Yeah,
through. I it's fucking dope.
it's
And then
great storytelling, man. It's great storytelling.
this is awesome. Superman spinning into a drill to go into the earth. That's fucking dope, dude. And he
Classic
just,
Superman, dude. That's
yeah.
like Silver Age shit. I love it.
And he tells Orion to stay behind. And Orion's not gonna just wait. He doesn't fucking listen. He's like, I'm gonna go start my diversion. Then we come back to Light Ray. We see Starfire's laid out because of that fucking weird, like, I really like the coloring on it, dude. The fucking like teal fucking,
Yeah.
like,
See, that's why I wonder what if maybe some of it was digital, if he was already starting to fuck with digital shit, because like you
yeah,
said, some of it doesn't look like it, but then there's like a gloss to some of it that I wonder if he was like, starting to play with some of them digital tools.
yeah, maybe, yeah.
More Superman in Shadow, which you
Oh,
mentioned
dude.
earlier, but I love that, man.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
and he does it a lot in this book, and it's
going up
badass, man.
going up against this robot. See Light Ray going
Yeah,
up against this, so things are starting to like boom, 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 just like keep going back and forth. So we're
yeah.
seeing the simultaneous actions. Somebody's gonna lose.
These are very Mignola pages here
Yeah,
too, man. Like the giant robot, like the heavy blacks, like the
I
really
love,
good dynamic
dude.
action.
I love that too. The simplicity here of like Adam Strange and
Beautiful,
just Starfire's arm going grabbing, and then Light Ray being taken out.
beautiful stuff, man.
Yeah.
This would be a good artist edition book too, to tell you the truth.
I love Mignola's Batmobile.
Oh yeah, man, that's a good call. I hadn't. I mean, I love any iteration of the Batmobile. It's like I have a bunch of the Batmobile Hot Wheels that they've been releasing. That a lot of people don't know, but if you look through Hot Wheels, they have a bunch of different Batmobiles. This is the one that you don't really see. I mean, this is like a new design, and it looks like a Lamborghini almost. It's pretty fucking badass.
I love that ties back into that opening scene where Batman was, because like there was a cop that was killed, and the anti-life
Yeah,
aspect has now taken over that host
the cop.
body,
Yeah,
teamed up with the fucking parademon, and then these, dude. Oh my God,
dude, these
Superman just
pages are fucking great, dude.
yeah.
Superman letting loose, man. I love Superman in action, and
hmm
you know, you said earlier, you'd love to see Mignola do a Batman book. I think he'd do a badass Superman
I
book
want
too.
him to do any fucking DC book.
Yeah,
You
dude.
know, I'm not picky. I don't care if it's
Yeah,
fucking, well, I don't want it to be some like, random like something so,
yeah,
but like any major thing, I think it'd be fun. I don't even know if it's something he desires to do. I'm sure he's completely content doing what he does, but I
yeah.
mean, as a fan, like I would just love to see his take on those characters. I love this too. Etrigan just like crouched over here. Darkseid again, arms crossed, High Father, and they're basically plotting what's gonna come. And then,
And then
Darkseid, we have to take the offensive, and then Darkseid sitting here in the shadows, calling him an old fool, because it's
yeah,
all part of his plan of what he wants to do.
because of course Darkseid's gonna have an ulterior motive, and like, yeah, he's teaming up with these heroes, but he wouldn't be Darkseid unless he's planning his own fucking move.
No. And then High Father, like contemplating if he's doing the right thing, and we see somebody come to him in the shadow. He's like, I'm a friend of Batman's. He asked me to keep an eye on Darkseid. We still don't. I love that it builds this like mystery of like it's an added
Who it
layer to
is?
the
Yeah,
story. Yeah.
the next splash page is amazing too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. And we see this bomb's about to go off too, and we're getting close. And if this one goes, it's over, dude. And
Yep.
Superman's look on his face right here in the massacre that Orion fucking unleashed upon Thanagar, all these dead Thanagarians, dude. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
a great splash page, man. Again,
Yeah.
like
It's a great
they
scene
use.
too with him. Like as he's like, there's so many dead. Why? And he's like, I don't play around with such high
Yeah,
stakes involved.
he is Darkseid's son.
I love these five panels right here where it's interspersed with Superman. You just get closer to his face and then the dead bodies in the background.
Yeah, very cinematic panel use. You mentioned it earlier, and it's very true. Like there's a lot of movement to this. This is a really, really well done book, man.
Dude,
It's
and
a
then
fucking classic.
and then this, where he's like, I'm going to New Genesis, are you coming? And he just says, no, they're dead to be buried. So he stays behind to bury the dead. And then
Again, very Clark thing to do.
light ray coming in. There's only fucking gonna be 3 seconds left. The timer doomsday device is about to explode, but they're able to stop it because Starfire was fucking manipulating this like fucking green teal symbiote, fucking slime creature, and basically saved it from blowing up the entire planet, which is crazy because she had planned it all along. Now they're gonna fucking, head back, and then everybody's gonna start to converge because we're getting towards the end of the series. Get this Etrigan Darkseid.
Yep.
Dude, I love this interaction too. I love Etrigan. He's one of my favorite characters that Kirby created.
Same, dude. Yeah, yeah. I need to get more. I pick up demon books whenever I see them. I have especially like the NS John McCrea run. Like that
Yeah, I
shit is
just
fucking.
picked up a small chunk of Etrigan from, that Facebook group that we're both in, the swap
Yeah,
group.
yeah. You beat me to the punch, and when I saw
Yeah.
that post, whenever I see a post like that and I see one comment, I'm like, that's Ryan writing home. I already fucking know, dude.
Dude, and I second guess. I was like, should I do it? Like, I probably shouldn't spend money, but I'm like, fuck, it's got the first Ennis McCrea issue,
Yeah.
dude. I need to grab it. So yeah, I love Etrigan, and I just really dig this like interaction which you don't normally see the two of them. And look at that. Even
No.
even when he's got one arm outstretched, he's got one arm behind, dude.
Yeah, dude. It's great. It's great.
Yeah. I love this too. We got Batman, Forager jumping through a boom tube. Everybody's coming to New Genesis now, and we just see, John Stewart's fucked up in the head, dude.
Yeah, I love how this machinery now that we have on like Darkseid and Etrigan, like like the weird fucking curvy contraptions
Oh,
there.
it's fucking amazing, dude. Got
Yeah.
the Kirby crackle, and then this double page. Oh, this is
Oh,
great,
dude.
dude.
Yeah, dude. This almost reminds me of like, I mean, it can almost be like a Vertigo page, man, or something. You know what I mean? Like this is when it gets really surreal.
Mm-hmm.
Something else that Mignola is really good at too. I mean, he can draw like straight up superhero action, but he can draw like a fucking abstract scene like nobody's business too. He's one of my favorite artists, man.
And look, now they're pissed because like they'd realized Darkseid could fucking like his blind ambition is driven him to the ultimate gamble. And then he's like, he mentions he's like, he's the one I told you of, Orion. And we see again just the shadow, dude. And it's like
Yeah,
even the shadow doesn't really like if once you know who it is, you're like, okay, I can see the shape. But the
yeah,
mystery of it, I know I keep saying it, but the mystery of it is just such a great added kind of component to this story where you're having this
yeah,
cosmic thing, but then just a little touch of mystery. And then we get back to Moose Jaw, Arizona, which is a fucking hilarious name. I didn't look it up to see
yeah,
if it
yeah.
was a real place. I'm gonna assume it is. We see this fucking parody with the whole blasted from Batman. We get the fucking dead Gotham City cop, and now we see this long countdown.
What a great use of like a countdown, man. Too. It's very good visually, very good for the story. You know, it really. And
So
dude, that cover is so badass.
yeah. And spoiler, Dr. Fate is the mystery character. I know I wish they
Yeah,
didn't put that on the cover, because immediately if you've been reading it, you're like, okay, well that's who it is now.
I love that image with the pentagram, dude. It comes up in the actual pages too, and it's
Yeah.
probably
So
my favorite image
yeah, we get
in the
this
book.
fucking countdown, dude, and it goes down to 0.
Yeah,
And you're like, oh shit. And even the Paradigm's like, what happened? You can't stop Batman, dude. I
no, man.
love I love this, man. This is like where Mignola just like heavy, heavy shadows, man.
Yeah, dude. It's great, man.
Yeah. I really dig his Batman. That we should do that 3 issue the Legends of the Dark Knight.
Absolutely, we should, man. Yeah,
Yeah, I love these pages a lot, dude. And again, I love this like entity where it's just like this like exploding light from his face.
yeah,
And Darkseid, dude, I love when he smiles, dude, because it
yeah.
just adds this like element of creepiness to him.
Let the battle
These are
begin. You
these are
know.
fucking great, dude.
Oh, dude, this is like this whole sequence is amazing. You know, and like you said, this huge, enormous, like like abstract character, like is really creepy.
Yeah, he's trying to get that anti-life equation, dude. He like, yes, he was trying to have the universe not be completely destroyed, but he also used those characters to get to his ultimate goal,
Yeah,
which is to fucking control the anti-life equation, man.
and yeah, and subjugate the universe to his
Yeah.
will.
Oh, dude, this fucking page with the panels of John Stewart, man.
Yes, dude.
I heard their
It,
death cries through my ring, shared their fear and agony. Even with all my power, there's nothing I could do to make up for that one damn blunder. All my fault. I don't think I can live with this on my conscience. It's fucking heavy, dude. And
like you
even
said,
like,
it's something that stuck with the character for years.
yeah. And then like even Martian Manhunter's like he's telling Superman what's going down. I love this too, like Batman just hanging there, like about to die, and then Forager throws that fucking little disc and comes to his aid. Oh, dude, right here too. There has to be
Oh
some way to
yeah,
stop this. Think, man, think. But one look into the eyes of the inhuman brute tells me that salvation is a pipe dream, but I still have to try. What other choice do I have? This is such great writing, dude. Then this,
anti-life is on
the
its way.
fucking look at that. That's so effective. Just a fucking wall of black to show that this like force of the anti-life is just like all encompassing. And then what happens here, dude? Look, Darkseid thinks it's about to end. He was so close, and then here comes Doctor Fate. I love that Darkseid knows who he is. He
I
does.
think that this was kind of like a re. I think they hadn't been using Doctor Fate much around this time in DC, and I think this was sort of like a big kind of reveal
Well,
too,
yeah,
because
but that Keith Giffen miniseries with James Matthews was 87, so it was prior to this. So I think they had just kind of
reintroduced
reintroduced him
them.
recently, yeah.
Yeah,
And he says he's the only hope he has. Then here we go. The cynic of
dude, what a
cosmic
great
power
image.
is
Yeah,
formed. I love when they have this kind of thing where like, with our powers combined. It makes you think of Captain Planet, but
yeah, yeah, or Voltron or some shit.
Voltron, yeah. The Power Rangers when they fucking do the Megazord and stuff like that. It's pretty
Yep,
cool,
yep.
dude. This is and look, you can't do this in movies, dude, where you can show this like energy in all these different like
Yeah, and a
aspects of
fucking
it.
giant pentagram, like
Sick, dude. So sick. Yeah, this is phenomenal, dude.
Yeah,
Oh, dude, I love that angry look on Darkseid's face.
yeah,
You made a puppet of me. And then all Doctor is like, yeah, as you've done to many others. You'll pay for this indignity. Not today, you won't. Not unless you're willing to take us all on to do it. Dude, it's so good. You know what I love about this is I didn't know where any of it was going. Like
yeah.
I didn't,
Same.
none of it was like predictable to me. And I guess it's really good that I never like read much about the series
It
back to
doesn't really get covered much, man. You know, a lot
no,
like
I don't think enough people fucking maybe even know about it. I didn't even know about it until I mean I've known about it for a while. Maybe in the early 2000s is when I first heard about it.
yeah,
Fantastic, dude.
yeah, dude, it's great. And I love how Forger and Batman's like fight with this one parademon is like really
Yeah.
hard, man. You know, like
And then Forger just fucking destroys the thing, explodes, and we don't even see if he's made it. Batman's fucking looking for him. Then we come back right back to New Genesis, and Green Lantern's still sitting there suffering, you know? And
yeah,
he's basically
he's contemplating committing suicide. It seems like
it does seem like that, dude. And he's like, I
yeah,
can't. He basically sends his ring back to Hal Jordan. So I'm assuming maybe Hal Jordan at this point wasn't Green Lantern. I really don't remember it. I didn't know there was a scenario where Hal Jordan had given up the ring. I knew there was like, replacements and stuff, but it's interesting. He gives up his ring. He doesn't want to do it anymore. And then these panels, yeah, he puts the fucking gun to his head, dude. It's
yeah, dude, that's
it's
powerful page, man.
it's pretty crazy for a fucking DC comic. Like I didn't know any
Yeah,
of this took place, man. It's like gut wrenching, dude. And Martian Manhunter just like peeking behind the curtains. And are you going to kill yourself or not? I mean, fuck, dude. And then he talks him down, dude, and he
yeah,
gets the ring back. It's a beautiful moment in this series, you know.
yeah.
Like I
Like
said,
John finally shows a little bit of empathy for him. You know,
he
like
did.
using a little reverse psychology.
And then he says, "Screw you, Johns," and fucking Marcia met her with that fucking smile at the bottom of the page. And Forager didn't make it.
Oh, I
I
love
love
Batman punching Orion, dude. Probably broke his fucking hand doing it. You know.
because yeah, he's like fucking. He called him Bug, you know,
Yeah,
and Batman's like, no, fuck that, because he did. That's something we kind of glossed over, but uh, Forager mentions like why Orion like calls him Bug and how he was like, he is a new god, but he was raised by this like I guess subclass and fucking
yeah.
he calls him Bug as a derogatory word, and that's what kind of makes Batman snap and throw that punch, dude. Fucking awesome stuff, dude.
Darkseid ends the whole thing with a pure piece of anti-life. You know?
Yep. And then, Highfather says this trip might teach you something. He's like, what? Tolerance. He tells Orion. He's like, as you wish, Highfather. And then, great ending, dude.
Yeah, very, very like contemplative, like like quiet, emotional ending for a story that was also like cosmic and grand in scale. You
Dude,
know, it
yes,
had
it
great
did.
character moments. Yeah,
I was just gonna say that it had some nice, like, I won't maybe, maybe quiet's not the right word, but it did kind of have like these kind of
contemplative moments. You
yeah,
know.
contemplative moments, and great book. I highly recommend it. I think it's been collected in multiple ways. I think it might be in the DC Universe by Mike Mignola trade or hardcover that they did. Maybe not, but it's not hard to find, and it's not like
Yeah,
even if you get the issues like I did, it's not super expensive. I think I got these four for $20, which if you think about it, like that's $5 an issue. It's not bad at all. But yeah, go check it out. If you're a Mignola fan and you haven't read this, I highly recommend it. DC 80s comics have been like stuck in my mind for a little bit now, where I've been
yeah.
going back and reading a bunch of these old miniseries. So definitely check it out. Check out the DC 80s playlist that is on the channel. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, hit the bell icon to be notified every time a new vid drops. And on that note, we're out.